What is up, my manifestors? Michael here, and I'm
Cute.
let's just roll into it. This video is all about thought forms. You are literally your thought forms. Let's say that backwards. Forms, thoughts. Form, thought forms. Like literally your thoughts form your life. You are the formation of the things that you think constantly. Now, there's some base level stuff. And of course, the course goes even deeper on restructuring yourself and centering yourself, aligning yourself. But the main thing is the awareness. You want to be brought to attention on this. Like, what is all this stuff? Like, seriously, you can think something and then boom, it happens. Literally crazy. I remember one time I was thinking about money and someone just wrote me a check for like $8,000 randomly. I remember one time I was thinking a negative thought about my car, and then instantly I hit a fucking cat. And I'm like, are you serious? I hit a cat. Don't worry, we'll manifest the cat to be alive. But ultimately, it's so weird that the construct of your mind, the things that are intangible, literally form the tangible. Like what you think makes what you see. It's so crazy. I have noticed a huge difference in whenever I think about myself and how I look and how I look. I go to the gym just as much, eat the same thing, and just don't consciously think about how I want to look or anything like that. And I don't look as good. I have a little pudge here and all this other stuff. Vice versa. Now check this out. I just think how I want to look. I see myself having abs. I see myself being ripped. I see myself whatever. And then I could even go to the gym less and even eat more loose. I could eat junk food and my body looks even better. My abs show more. And it's crazy. It's the same thing with my business as well. Like I can go and just try to do business, but if I see myself successful, if I see myself this way and all this other stuff, even with relationships, like literally we are the formation, the accumulation of our thoughts. We are thought forms. This is so important. This is so important because if we don't hone in and train our thoughts, then man, our life will look like a mess.
What the hell's wrong with that?
Oh my God. How in the hell did she?
Think of somebody's life who's just out of control, whether it's with their weight or their finances or whatever. Like that's literally what we're doing to ourselves when we don't train our thoughts, we don't train our brain. This is funny because this is physical, this is mental, this is metaphysical, and this is spiritual. Like it's everything wrapped up into one. This isn't like, oh, the brain is all this stuff. No, there is a spiritual world. There's a spiritual world out here, and that spiritual world has to interact through us to get things to be manifested. So like the spiritual world and the realm around us is trying to cohabitate with us, to use us as a filter and a conduit to manifest and project things on this plane of space. Now, this plane of space has things like emotions, touch, senses, feelings, things like that, taste. And well, the spiritual world wants to fulfill that through us. And it does it through our thoughts. That's why we can just think of a friend and all of a sudden, bam, they call us. Like we haven't thought of them in forever. And then all of a sudden we think about them, boom, and they call us. It just shows how powerful our thoughts are. That you can literally think about something and then instantly it happens. We want to make sure that we train our thoughts, that we don't just let them run loose. We don't let them run wild, but we make something out of them. We hone our thoughts in. Cool thing is, like with our thoughts, we can have the success of the result in sometimes seconds, or it may take a year or 2 years, 3 years to finally get what we want. If you want a great relationship, man, if you see the thoughts and hone them in right, you can literally meet that person in the next interaction who you meet. Or if you don't hone your thoughts in and you have all these other negative thoughts and all this other stuff, it may take you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years to finally meet that person or whoever you want to meet. Now, in the course on Patreon, I do go into how to micromanage your thoughts, how to get yourself aligned in the coordinates, how to be true, how to manifest faster and quicker, what all this stuff is. You can go on there, check it out, get it. Super cheap, affordable, and it's going to teach you how to manifest everything you want. But right now, I do want to give you some kind of tips that would help you train your thoughts, train your brain to make sure that your thoughts don't run wild. First thing's this. You want to take a step back and start viewing who you are and what you think about. Like what are your worries? Like, what are those things? Are you worried about money? Are you worried about looks? Are you worried about an enemy or somebody bad or whatever? Like what are your worries? Like, what are your doubts and what are your fears? And take that third person view perspective and start writing down everything you worry about. I'm talking about take time, like literally go in deep. Do you do this? You clean yourself out? Now, I've done this so many times. I got to the root of everything in my life that was either bogging me down or was even a lie. Like I was just believing lies and uproot that stuff and placed in truth, what I wanted, confidence and all those other things to make my soul clean So that way I'm running off efficient fuel. Like there's no junk in the trunk. No, but there's no junk in the gas or the energy that's giving you life, because you can have energy, but what good is energy if it's bad energy? Like you can eat junk food and it gives you energy, like you're going to eat some kind of food, or you can eat, healthy food that gives you clean energy and actually, keeps you from having free radicals and things that could even damage your body and give you cancer. It's the same thing with your thoughts. Like you can have motivating thoughts that inspire you to go, further, or you can have thoughts inside of you that are like really killing you. And you have to know the difference between the two. Now, here's the thing. You can leverage thoughts if you want to become the energy of what you need, like anger, like sorrow or regret and all that stuff. And it's a great instant boost. I say use it, bang. If you made a mistake, leverage, like bite into how much you sucked making that mistake and like, God, that was the dumbest mistake. It's like, oh, this is so stupid. Why did I even do that? I say bite into that. I call that leaning into the daggers. Like whatever stupid thing you've done, like press into that, press into the sword when you feel in your gut, just like, like let that sink in that you did that, because that's such great fuel to never do it again. If you don't do that, I found out personally that it's hard to learn the lesson. It's really hard to learn a lesson if you don't lean into the daggers, if you don't lean into that sword, because you're just like, oh, well, haha, I made a mistake, and then it really sink in and establish and become concrete inside of you to where you learn your lesson and move on. So therefore, you will probably end up making it again. But if you feel it in your gut, you're like, oh, God, that was so stupid. And you like kind of chew on it for a while. You allow it to sink in, establish inside of you, and then you usually won't make that mistake again, because when the next situation similar to it comes up, you kind of feel that in your gut, like, oh, let's not do that. Because I remember one time, but also on the other side, don't sink in it for too long either, because it's only a good boost. It's only good to get you, in a sense, out of the atmosphere. If we're talking about rockets here, it's a good boost to like, break that first initial gravity, to get you, into another stratosphere to where you start thinking and believing different. But if you're just constantly boosting that kind of energy, it could be very disruptive to your body. Maybe a lot of negative frequencies, a lot of downing your life, a lot of like bags under their eyes. They're pretty stressed out. Face usually sunken in. They age faster. I mean, because you're just releasing so much cortisol. Now there's a physical side to it, a mental side, and a spiritual side to everything. Do not forget that. That's so important. So nothing's all physical. Nothing's all mental. Nothing's all spiritual, especially in the realm that we live in. They all cohabitate with each other, and you hit different points in each one. So physically, like, yeah, if you stay in that state, then you are literally degrading your body, like you were bringing in aging, potentially cancer. I believe that, if you have enough negative thoughts, you can produce some kind of sickness or illness in your body. If you're always afraid and fearful, you can produce that which you're fearing. Mentally, whenever you think those things, you're going to start creating neural pathways in your mind to say, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm not good enough, how could I? And all of a sudden, you become incompetent. Even if you are competent and you do good work, you won't even see the value of it to be able to leverage it to its fullest extent, because you have now placed your neural pathways inside your mind that when you see yourself, you think of yourself as lesser or lower. So that could be very damaging as well, so you won't get as far in life as you could. And then even spiritually, you put out just negative vibrations like that, like you invite all kinds of quote unquote demons or just negative things into your life that manifest, because now you were thinking in those terms. You're thinking in terms of failure and all this stuff, other stuff. Now, using it as a propellant is great because it lets it sink in, but don't stay in it, okay? Lean to the daggers, feel that, and then move on. Number 2, find out why you even worry about those things. I see myself, because I'm human just like everyone else. Some people think I'm a robot. I'm not. I'm Capricorn, so I'm very like analytical. Let's make it happen. But ultimately, I'm human. I still share in this experience with all my other androids. Humans out there. And I've experienced fear. I've experienced fear of getting cancer, fear of injuring my body, fear of getting sick, fear of losing a relationship, fear of going homeless, like all kinds of stuff. And sometimes those initial roots will cause me to have those thoughts that I was mentioning in the first place. Well, if I can find out, okay, cool. First off, is this even real? Like, bro, like, is this like a hyperbole? Are you just kind of throwing this beyond what it really is? Are you saying like, oh my God, that's the end of the world if this happens? Probably 80% of the times, if we sit down and just take a look, the things that, and the reasons why we worry about the things we worry about, it's not even an issue. It's not even real. It's not even going to go that far. But at the same time, even if it did, I said, so what? What if I? And then place that fear there, and I lived that fear out. Okay, what if I got cancer? Okay, cool. Then I would get sick. I'd probably be in pain for a little while, and then I may pass, or I may live. But the thing is, ultimately, it's like, so what? It may be part of the life experience. It may be something I go through. And then once I embrace that thing, I no longer fear it. I don't fear it anymore. Like, do I want to get cancer? No. But do I have thoughts, oh, what if I get cancer? No, I overcame that thing. Or even, what if I go homeless? Okay, cool. Well, it's summer, right now, or whatever. So it's just like, I'll just be outside getting a great tan all the time, or whatever. I literally allow that experience to live through me. So therefore, I lose the fear over it. It's almost like blackmail. Like literally, like the fears in your life are like blackmail. And that's why you have to identify it. You have to make sure that you identify the fears and why you even fear about these things in the first place. Because if not, they'll always leverage over you, and you won't even know who they are or what they are. Why are you having these thoughts? Okay, boom. Now you get to the root of it. Okay, I'm having these thoughts because of this. Okay, is this even real? If no, then it doesn't even matter in the first place. And if it is real, okay, lean into it. So what if that happens? Bam. And that brings this leverage over you, like blackmail. Okay, you have some kind of secret against me. Bam, if I release the secret first, then you now have no power over me. It's the same thing when you live to that thing. Bam, even if it happens, so what? I keep moving on. I keep making it happen. Next, number 3 is, do I take time in meditation in guiding my own thoughts? Like, no, I'm going to think about this. One great exercise to start honing in your mind, because your mind's a muscle. Like seriously, you condition your mind. Let's take somebody like a Navy SEAL. Those guys are focused. They are on it. They are on their task. They're on their job. They know what they're about, and they stay focused. Do they just end up focused? No. They trained themselves. They were trained. They were prepared. They prepped themselves to be who they are, to have the focus, the diligence, the power that they have. Well, you're the same way. You have a mind that's malleable. You can condition it into thinking. So one of the exercises that I use is I will take any spot in my room or wherever I am, and I'll put a timer on for 5 minutes, and I'll let that be the only thing that I focus on. Let's say that it's a picture on my wall. Let's say it's of an apple, okay? I will literally look at that picture, and I will only think apple for as long as I can. I'll keep thinking about that until the timer goes off. Now, in that exercise, I'm training my mind. Will it go everywhere? Yes, it will. I'll think about like apple sauce. I'm the sauce. I need some sauce. Throw some sauce in this fat beat. My mind will go everywhere, but then I'll catch it. I'm like, oh, no. Focus back. So when you first start, you'll probably suck at it. Or you might be good. I have no idea. But this is an exercise to condition yourself. And then as you grow and you get better, now 5 minutes is nothing. For you to focus on one thing for 5 minutes, easy. Super easy. So then you bump it up to 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, to where now you're holding thoughts so easy. You now condition your mind. You control your mind versus your mind controlling you. What does this do? As I mentioned in the course as well, I teach you how to literally become something else. You become something new. And you do this ultimately by controlling your thoughts. It's so important because what you think, you become. You literally are the formation of your thoughts. So if you can control your thoughts, you can think good things, you can think positive things, you literally become those things. Now I have no idea what the future is going to hold, but I can at least start directing thoughts that will lead me into something like that. When you really get powerful, it will be exactly as you thought. Man, I had the relationship I want. It looks exactly like I imagined, in the house that I want, in the car that I like. It looks exactly how you want it. But if your imagination isn't sharp, then you may end up somewhere that looks like what you want, but it's not exactly. That doesn't really matter. What really matters is you start heading in the direction of what you really want. Now you got to do that by getting those thoughts deep down within yourself, which I mentioned in the course, but ultimately you want to have good thoughts. That's the main thing. You don't want your thoughts to be wild. You want to hone them things in. You want to own them. They're yours. Yo, the only thing that's going to be up here is what I want to be up here. Not what is just running free and just doing its own thing. Because remember, you are your thoughts. So you can literally have anything you want just by controlling your thoughts. You can have wealth, success, health, money, everything you want effortlessly. Now, this is just one facet in the course that I speak on, but I have multiple videos just on this right here, breaking this down and what that means. But it's multifaceted, it's multidimensional. So you have thoughts, you have spirit, you have align yourself, you have soul, you have inner power, you have projection, you have so many things. But this is one of the most important things to get down. It's basic. You need this. You need to control your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts run wild, because Ultimately, you are the accumulation of everything you ever thought of. You aren't anything you've never thought because you never thought it. So therefore, you only are what you think. So you need to make sure what you think is in accordance, in alignment with what you want. You can't think of what you want unless you control your thoughts, because your thoughts will always be wild in nature. You will always have thoughts of fear and anxiety because that's what this world puts into us, unless you condition yourself. Now, here's the thing. That's important because ultimately, you're going to get what you think. You are the accumulation of thoughts. As it says in the scripture, in the word, you are what you think. As a man believeth, or as a man thinketh, so is he. Or as a woman thinketh, it doesn't really matter. But you are the accumulation of thoughts, so you have to make sure that you get these down. So guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this. This was a lot to be said. There's more information on this in the course. Go to the Patreon, go to the link below. We have different segments on belief structures, thoughts, metaphysical realm, physical realm, emotional realm, mental realm, and we're growing the library and the archive every single month. We are stacking it up. We're gonna try to put out as many videos as possible. This is a never-ending subject for me, so I'm always going to be adding to it. So you are always equipped with the tools that you need for success. You are always equipped with what you need to continue conditioning yourself into success. It's just like working out. Like, you don't ever stop working out. If you do, you revert back to a bad state. You want to make sure that you train yourself every single day. Be on top of it so you can manifest everything you've ever wanted. It's possible. I've seen in my own life. I do it now. I do it in my relationships. I do it with my finances and my businesses. You can go out there and put out sweat equity. You can go out there and work really hard, put out elbow grease, and try to do it from human effort. Or you can just manifest it and you can compress time, teleport to the next level without much effort. There's easier ways to do stuff. Now, here's the thing. You're already doing it. You're already manifesting all the time. You're manifesting good, bad, normal, plateaus, and all kinds of stuff. Literally, the reality that you're experiencing right now, you are projecting. Because you have a certain paradigm, those core beliefs project out through you to experience what you already believe. So therefore, your thought, your world, your reality is justified. But what if you took a shift? What if you didn't like what you see? What if we weren't happy with it? What if you wanted more? You're already manifesting the front row parking or your friend calling you and stuff like that. How about you manifest what you really want? The career goals, the job opportunities, the success, the relationships. This is what this is about, where you are manifesting everything you want at 100% capacity. Guys, I'm so proud of you. This is very secretive, in a sense, information that a lot of people don't know, but yet we all do it all the time. So I say, rewatch this video, take notes, take your time, go through it, and then go out there and manifest everything you've ever wanted. I'm out.